They're all connected.
You're not going to have a single legit person appear on Alex Jones. Nothing more than agents, and I'm going to point that out with Professor Griff. This man is very transparent, not a very good shield at all. I'm going to show that here with this image with him plugging Fritz Springmeier's book, and I'm going to make the connection, how these so-called truth speakers always expose themselves, but so few can see it because they don't understand the occult. They don't look for the science and symbols and numbers. As a form of mockery, they're always going to give themselves up, and very few can catch on to it. Just listen to what he says here, and I'm going to make all the connections. It's all going to make sense by the time I get to the end of the video. Just listen to Professor Griff, and I'll break it down.
The code, the stuff that I'm showing you here, especially, how they murked William Cooper.
Oh, I have that book at the house.
Yep.
Talking about William Cooper. I made a couple videos about William Cooper. Understand, they're only going to prop up their own. Bill Cooper was an agent. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but that's the truth. Now, just taking a look at Bill Cooper's book, Behold a Pale Horse, same exact book that Professor Griff was holding. This is from page 26. I remember that one of the questions asked if I ever belonged to any fraternal organizations. I looked down the list. Circled the De Molay Society. Of course, the same society that Walt Disney was part of as well. How obvious can it be? For those that don't know, the De Molay Society is for basically Freemason youth between the ages of 12 and 21. Getting back to Professor Griff, let's see who else he plugs.
Behold the pale white horse, yeah.
William Cooper, Alex Constantine, John Coleman, who also wrote the Committee 300, John Potash. These people that don't look like us, but they've documented it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? We got to get back to basics, man. We got to start reading. We back in the day when I was coming up, we made it popular to stand out on the corner and kind of show people what we know and what we study. That's not popular anymore.
Oh, now
you understand what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Hell yeah. But we got to bring that back straight up, brothers. Y'all got to start reading, dude. A lot of y'all call me and want to run up on me in the street at the fucking grocery store 3:30 in the morning.
He just said 3:30 in the morning. For those that don't understand Freemasonry, it's the highest degree in the Scottish Rite. As I've stated so many times, I'm going to make some more connections, like I said. Let's again listen to Professor Griff.
These books, you can read about some of the best of them.
What do you see here? Of course, Professor Griff holding Fritz Springmeier's book. And make the connection, again, all these shills are interconnected, all working together, basically gatekeepers, speaking a lot of truth, but never going to reveal the whole entire truth. Again, it's all coded. You're going to see these interviews. You're going to see the guy here doing the Illuminati hand sign, throwing up the 666 hand sign. This is how they do it. They love to mock. All about mockery. It's all about Freemasonry with Professor Griff and Fritz Springmeier and how it all connects. And here's an image of Fritz Springmeier, of course. Like I mentioned, Professor Griff was plugging him. And of course the connection with Alex Jones and InfoWars. And what do you see him doing? The devil horns right in plain sight. This is how they do it. Now taking a listen to Fritz Springmeier during a presentation. Again, more about mockery. Where he talks about disinfo agents that were in the same spot that he is. Talking about presenters. Basically, he's pointing at other people, but he's actually talking about himself. He also brings up the number 33 as well when he states he's been to 33 countries. Again, just another form of mockery. Take a listen.
You'll get a good idea of the type of disinformation that's being disseminated to you all through double agents. Some of them have been up here as speakers. You may think that disinformation is simply passing a lot of lies. No, disinformation has to look like the absolute truth, but you slip in a little poison with it.
This is exactly how they do it. Basically pointing fingers at other people when he's actually talking about himself. No one would suspect he's actually basically talking about himself as a disinfo agent. In this point of the presentation, again, he mentions how he's been to 33 countries. Another form of mockery. Again, take a listen.
Because I have been in 33 countries.
And there you go. Always coded. You're going to have that number 33 always. Hidden in plain sight sometimes in colors, with symbols, but in this case, he flat out says 33. I understand this won't be a very popular video for a lot of people, and trust me, I love a lot what Bill Cooper states, but remember, a lot of these disinfo agents, they speak a ton of truth to pull you in, but they won't reveal the whole truth. Interesting enough, with this famous presentation he did in Michigan years ago, while he's speaking, it's an hour-long presentation, and during the entire presentation, you only see the top portion of him. You don't see the podium, what's being displayed. I find it very interesting. In front of the podium, he has his flag draped in front. This, of course, is the UN flag, and it has the cross through it. Again, these disinfo agents will speak a ton of truth, but he never talks about the flat earth. And this is meant as mockery, right in plain sight. And understand, again, Bill Cooper says a ton of stuff. I still enjoy listening to his presentations. But again, it's all about controlling each side. The people that believe the news, the media, and the alternative media as well is controlled. Bill Cooper would have never had a radio show. He would have never had that CNN interview unless he was one of them. I'm going to include the Bill Cooper presentation in the description box below the video because it is a very good listen. I'm not going to take that away from him. Again, understand, he's an agent, and I'll play the portion where he talks about how there's a method to their madness. Basically, how there's no method to the people out there. And this is a very good statement, but while he's saying that, this is when they pan on, basically, or they show, basically, the flat earth map in plain sight. And after he's done giving that little portion about ignorance, they go again above waist view, and you don't see that flag again.
There's a method to their madness. There's really not much method to yours, because you're operating from a place of ignorance, and until you change that, you're going to be bumbling around, bumping into each other, saying and doing the wrong things, not understanding the nature of your enemy. And if you don't understand the nature of your enemy and the weapons they use, you cannot fight that enemy. You can't fight the battle. You shouldn't even be on the battlefield. That's why you're losing the war. And don't tell me you're not, because I'm in a place of great knowledge about who's winning and who's losing this war. And I can assure you...
And this is the real nail in the coffin as far as Bill Cooper's concerned. This is unfortunate. Even at one point, I thought he was legit. Again, I love his presentations, and I'll still listen to him, because there's a ton of good info that he gives. But again, sadly, he was just nothing more than a clever agent. Take a listen to this interview when he talks about the LA Olympics back in 1984, when they had a helicopter, basically holding up, suspending a UFO, a fake UFO, and Bill Cooper calls it real. Completely ridiculous. You can hear the helicopter rotating above in the video, and again, he's trying to pass this off as a real UFO. And of course, the whole alien psyop angle. Aliens do not exist. UFOs don't exist. How can someone with such great knowledge not know this? Obviously, he was one of them, sadly. I'll play the clip, and after the clip, I'll play the very end of the LA ceremony where they show this almost 8 feet tall alien being presented.
Did you see the ending of the Olympic Games in 1984?
Yes.
You should get a tape of the closing ceremony. It was occurred at night, and the UFO...
A spacecraft held by a helicopter.
Well, it wasn't held by a helicopter. There was no helicopter up there holding this thing. They'll tell you that, but it's not true. Can you imagine the liability that they would have if they were carrying this thing suspended on a cable underneath a helicopter over the heads of hundreds of thousands of people? They wouldn't do it.
You're meaning to say that that thing used in the 1984 Olympics, the closing ceremony...
Was under its own power.
Was under its own power?
Yes.
That's fascinating, with these laser lights dancing out of it?
That's right. There was no helicopter. There was no cable.
Whoa, that is heavy news. Now,
something's going to happen here now. Here comes the spaceship. You believe this? Most of the crowd just beginning to see it now. Oh, it's several hundred feet high still. The trumpets and the lights signaling to the spaceship giving its return signal. Friend or foe? Said that's the real moon. Only the spaceship has been created. And now
methinks we have a visitor.
The alien himself. That is no one on stilts. That is a man 7 feet 8 inches tall.
Possibilities of human achievement. For almost 100 years you have celebrated the best that humanity has to offer. You call it the Olympic Games. And for that, and for the cities which have kept the Olympic ideal alive, I salute you.